Alright, welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, classic, non-classic. This is episode number 26, no, excuse me, 2796, and episode number 2690. More annuals this time, this all from the series of Superman. First discussing, also we're discussing specials too. First discussing the annuals from Superman Volume 1. We'll discuss annuals 9, 10, and 12. You're thinking, why you discuss these annuals? What about the first 8? The first 8 were all reprints. Yep. That is 100% completely true. They were all reprints. So, the first annual is team with Batman. And one thing I like about early 80s stuff, they don't really list off who the creative team behind this issue is. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Now, I'm not discussing number 11 because I discussed that one did the Man of Tomorrow Deluxe Edition. Alright, here we go. It's Elias Migan and Alex Troth. It's a Superman and Batman annual. It's an annual featuring Batman as a guest star. Which I find this quite interesting. And the weird thing is that Superman has the original story before Batman does. Well, just before Batman does. In case you're curious, this was released in 1983. No, that's not like right there. Thank you. There we go. Yes. Where basically they team up to take on some stuff related to Lex Luthor. And also Stephen Bard and Jimmy Olsen and Lana Lang on the annual. There's even a backup story in this one called I Flew with Superman. It's a story done by legendary Superman artist who's now since passed away, Kurt Swan, who does it with Elias Migan, who did the first story, and Carrie Bates. I really enjoy that backup story. Now, issue 10 is one single story. Elias Migan, Kurt Swan in the artwork. It is mostly put basically like a little bit about Superman's history. That was mostly put the final appearance of a Silver Age character named King Cosmos. Well, actually, he made his debut. Actually, wasn't more like a Bronze Age character who debuted back in DC Comics Presents and number 2. And this annual here was his final appearance. And skipping over in number 11 because, well, I reviewed that already in the, what was it called? Oh yes, it was For the Man Who Has Everything. Now, in number 12, this is basically written by Carrie Bates, Alex Silvick, which I met Alex Silvick one time. He's known to be a legendary Spider-Man artist. It is mostly put basically just the final appearance of the Earth 1 Lex Luthor. Yeah, kind of the way this annual is the best way to describe it. It's like a finale for various characters. Yeah, and this later leads into whatever happened Man tomorrow. I gotta say these annuals are really good. And I'm gonna give the 3 annuals here roughly a 9 out of 10. Next up we have is 3 specials. Yes, Superman had specials too, released in the 80s as well. Only 3 of them. The first annual was written, drawn, and inked by the legendary Gil Kane. It is mostly put just, well, dealing with a guy named, an alien named Ultimate Man in this one and only appearance of the guy. Just weird alien. But the best thing about this special is the artwork. The second one, Gil Kane does the writing and inking this time with Carrie Bates in the artwork. It is mostly put Superman versus Brainiac. Like, okay. As for the final special of this volume, it is mostly put Superman take on Mazo. And by the way, this book is written by E. Nelson Brittle and Lean Ween and Aaron Nevick on the artwork. Like the annuals, the specials are really good. I give the specials a 9 out of 10. I'm giving 9.5 out of 10. Next up, we have the annuals for Superman Volume 2. Now, Superman Volume 2's annuals, we're discussing annuals 3, 4, 6 to 8, and 10 and 12. Now, annual number 3 is part of Armageddon 2001, written by Dan Jurgens. Yes, he wrote this one. And it's basically, this one is some point in the future Superman might die. Now, this comes chronologically. Yeah, they also have like Superman and Batman fight each other. They're basically younger. It comes. This is actually the first annual to come right after the start of Armageddon 2001. Now, here's the annuals I've discussed so far that have been released for Armageddon 2001. Batman 15, Justice League America number 5, American Comics number 3, Detective Comics number 4, and Justice League Europe number 2. And that's it. Now, number 4 is basically, well, it's basically Bruce Gordon opened the book with Starman. This is the Will Painted one. And Lois Lane being eclipsed by, well, and also Laura Grad being possessed by Eclipso. Now, written by Dan Badillo and art by Scott Bedful. Now, it's interesting to see Will Payton in a Starman in a Superman annual, because it seems like, for some reason, Roger Stern liked featuring him in the book. I'm not really sure exactly why. Basically, Roger Stern decided to have him feature as a recurring character in Superman, but he did. Yep. And it's going to be number 5 because basically I discussed that as part of the Death of Superman stuff. Moving on to number 6. And number 6 is written by Duran Verzico and Frank Fisto. Pharaoh Man of Steel. It is mostly put, what if Superman exists over in India? Yeah. We have Indian style Superman. Then we have another one of the really good year 1 concepts for Superman. This is written by Roger Stern, artwork by Chris Gossett. It is most of Superman team with legendary, basically C-list. He's kind of a C-list character, Dr. Occult, to take on a demon. And it's still mostly taking place during Superman's career. Yeah. Moving on to number 8. Yeah, it's basically the Team of Superman, the League of Supermen, who appear in this annual. And this is the only appearance of them. And the names are Flyboy, Heat, Plunder, See-Through, Shield, Speed, and Tempest. Yep. And they have new members introduced later on. This is written by Dave Michelin, another anime by him. Which, yes, it is good. Tom Greenberg and Kevin West in the artwork. Moving on to number 9. This is basically part of the Pulp Hero stuff. And the cover title is My Greatest Adventure. Written by Dan Jurgens. Art by Sean Chun, who I met. This is mostly get this. This is quite interesting. So, we have a brief guest appearance in this annual by Doc Savage. And yes, it is during the era of the Electric Blue Superman. And number 10 is one of the Ghost ones, one of the Ghost annuals. Written by Dan Jurgens, art by Paul Riley. The whole thing of this one is like him dealing with a past version of the Ghost from the Phantom Zone. Mm-hmm. Now, as for the final annual release for this volume, number 12. It is written by 3 writers. Excuse me. Oscar Pinito, Francisco Henderbeck, and Brian K. Vaughan. Art by Carlos Barbary. The cover art of this annual is by Hertz Ramos, Wayne Fucher, and Ron Serger. This is just Superman meeting the superheroes of Mexico, and a WBS reporter reporting on stuff in in Mexico. Kind of. But the last thing to discuss for this one will be basically the special for Volume 2. The sole special. Unlike Volume 1 for Superman, this published only one special. And this was released in 1982. Written, drawn, and inked by Walt Simonson. It is a book where Superman takes on the Sand Superman, a reimagining of the Earth 1 version created by Daniel O'Neil and Kurt Swan. Yes, they brought this thing back for this one story, and the guest appearance here by the Newsboy Legion. Always great to see him here. And I found the annual baby special really good. I'm surprised they don't collect this one. Yes. And the thing is, this is set prior to the deaths of Lex and Superman. So, this is set before the events of the death of Superman. This special is really good. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. The annuals for Superman. Shoot, my mouse just froze on me. Okay, so as for the annuals for Superman, and number 3 is a decent annual. Also in the annual, he puts on this cape that looks like Captain Marvel's cape. Yes. 4 is interesting because Starman shows up. Yep, that's the reason why I found it interesting, because Starman shows up. As for number 6, it's okay. Nothing really wrong here with that one. And number 7 is really good. I love number 7 because it's Roger Stern. And League of Superman. That's a good one. I really enjoy 9, especially the whole thing with the Doc Savage style storytelling. 10 is interesting at best. Nothing wrong with that one. As for the final ever annual release for this volume, it's a okay one. A few good ones here. I'm gonna give the special. I give a 10. The Superman nails. I'm gonna give that roughly a 9. Yep, that's what I give it. So that's pretty much it. Particular review. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and do not hit the like button. I might have time to do more videos tonight, but I had another review soon. Hopefully, I'll get a chance to word from Jay Heat about that. And it's an Anime Blaze. You'll find out what we're talking about on the video itself. Okay? But to this next video. Bye.